Welcome back, everyone. With Ukraine reporting that Russian drone attacks spiked to nearly 6,000 in the month of September. Tonight, we wanted to look at the changing battlefield. Ukraine and Russia have now been exchanging drone attacks for years, but is the United States ready for this new kind of weapon? In tonight's Prime Focus, our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, and our team got a rare look at a small group of Marines in Quantico with a mission to get America ready for drone warfare.
Moving the outpost!
On this quiet morning in Quantico, Virginia, these U.S. Marines are on the attack, testing a new and unconventional weapon. It is known as an FPV drone, short for the first-person view. For years considered little more than a hobbyist toy, it has quickly become one of the most lethal weapons in modern warfare, used no more heavily than on the battlefield in Ukraine. In roughly 3.5 years, the conflict there rapidly evolving from one fought with largely conventional weapons to a growing dependence on these. The capabilities of one-way attack drones have been increasing at an exponential pace, with some swarms now using hundreds at a time. One operation in particular showcasing just how sophisticated and destructive these weapons have become. In June, Ukraine sending Russia reeling after the now notorious massive covert drone attack, Operation Spiderweb, decimated nearly a third of Russia's strategic bombers. Russia calling the operation a terrorist attack, responding days later with an assault on Kyiv, more than 400 one-way attack drones of their own. We were there at the time and found safety in a bomb shelter. The Ukrainian drones are cheap, costing as little as $500 a piece. We were allowed to see how and where the Ukrainian quadcopters are made. This is one of many drone production facilities across Ukraine, spread out across the country. We can't tell you exactly where we are because obviously these facilities are Russian targets. We saw shelf after shelf of parts and where the explosives were placed. Production is expected to hit 1 million by the end of the year. Days after the Spiderweb attack, I spoke with Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, about the operation.
For Russians, more than $7 billion.
And the drone's not very expensive.
Yes, not. Yeah, we use cheap drones.
He told me as long as Russia keeps up its assault, there are no plans to slow down. Countries around the world have taken notice, and several are now racing to catch up, including the United States.
And all it is me clicking into different warheads.
Back in Quantico, ground zero for the future of American warfighting. Weapons Training Battalion, as it's called, where Marines traditionally train in marksmanship and small arms.
Flew for about 20 hours.
Colonel Scott Cuomo is the commanding officer with a mission.
The Corps is lethal as all hell right now, but every single day, every single Marine's job is to find a way to make ourselves more lethal.
After reading a report detailing the growing drone threat in Ukraine this past December, Colonel Cuomo's commander, General Anthony Henderson, gave him a new order.
Now, there's a picture in the article. He hit the picture with some force. General Henderson is a very, very strong individual, and he said, you're going to make sure that we can do that rapidly. Do you understand my intent?
Just weeks later, Cuomo turning that intent into reality. This is the Marine Corps Attack Drone Team, a small group of Marines tasked with writing a new chapter in American warfighting, using a controller,
Enable near arming,
a pair of goggles, and a drone equipped with as much explosive force as a grenade. This team is racing to develop an attack plan for the Marines, furiously creating tactics, testing equipment, and demonstrating just how effective these unassuming machines can be, even when compared to much larger conventional weapons.
I love all the missiles. They're $30,000 to $80,000 missiles. They have a range, generally speaking, depending on the missile, let's say max of 4 kilometers. In these cases, the systems that you saw employed here today, no more than $5,000. Those squads and platoons are going to be able to destroy our nation's adversaries out to 20 kilometers.
It's always a challenge when you do something new.
Major Miguel Ramirez is the officer in charge of this team, responsible for making Cuomo's vision a reality. Since its creation in January, The sense of urgency for his team has been relentless.
What we're seeing in current conflicts across the world is we have a capability gap that we just currently do not have organically to the service. What these Marines have accomplished has been nothing short of extraordinary. We went from not having a organic armed small UAS capability to now the service is looking at potentially fielding this capability in the near future.
There is still much to be done. The United States currently lacks the ability to rapidly produce large numbers of domestic drones like those seen in Ukraine. And while this team is focused on offense, the U.S. military is also working on defense, developing and deploying much-needed counter-drone technologies. Earlier this summer, President Trump signing an executive order to speed up the process, unleashing American drone dominance. In it, saying the Department of Defense must be able to procure, integrate, and train using low-cost, high-performing drones manufactured in the United States.
So today, I'm rescinding restrictive policies that stifle production.
Secretary Pete Hegseth responding directly in this video, signing a memo aimed at reducing red tape surrounding drone acquisition and training.
Drone warfare is decidedly here to stay.
Caitlin Lee is a drone expert at RAND who has followed the industry for years.
Previously, the Department of War treated drones much more like sophisticated aerospace systems. We can't treat drones that way, and we don't need to because they're low-cost weapon systems, often made with commercial technology.
Did Ukraine have an edge on us? Sure. Have we moved rapidly in the last 7 months? Absolutely. They're producing 1 million. Well, they weren't producing 1 million a year and a half ago. So if we want 1 million drones, we're America. American industry will respond. We're going to run through a demo.
Colonel Cuomo and his team are spreading the word as quickly as they can. Vice President J.D. Vance was given a first-hand demonstration this past spring. The Marine Corps Commandant, General Eric Smith, visited with the team shortly afterwards. And on this day, more than 80 senior training officers came to learn firsthand about the new weapons and how to deploy them across their units.
They want to make sure they understand every intricate detail to make sure that they can do their mission. Design lethal, effective training that Marines can pick up their ruck and go and execute against our enemies if required.
The speed of a changing battlefield and the pressure to catch up. These Marines say, regardless of how the next war is fought, they will be ready.
The enemy is time, and time is just something that we just don't have. So we attack this on a daily basis.
The pact that we made with the American people is that we will protect you every second of every day if anybody ever dares mess with us. And so if these are capabilities that are going to help us do that, we're going to go after them.